Pemirsa, Anda masih menyaksikan segmen khusus Money Talks CNBC Indonesia bersama saya Safrina Nasution, dan kami masih berada di rangkaian acara Asian Insight Conference 2025 dengan tema Growth in the Changing World. Dan di kesempatan rangkaian acara ini kita telah hadir bersama kami bergabung secara eksklusif Presiden Director Bank DBS Indonesia, Lim Chu Chong. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bapak, for joining us in CNBC Indonesia. So, how do you think is the impact of ongoing U.S. and China tension and emerging trade blocs are reshaping the Asia growth map?
Actually, with the Trump presidency, I think the world order is different now because of the way U.S. has positioned their country. So overall, there's a new world order that led to the whole U.S.-China trade tensions and tension actually with the rest of the world when tariff is used almost like a weapon. So currently, I think as we all know, there's a truce between U.S. and China. They're taking a pause to assess and to renegotiate some of the terms to see whether they can land at a better place. We do expect that they will land at a better place. Currently, the tariffs at more than 100% is just a trade war, right? As in WALL, right? It's a war. But we expect the tariffs to actually come down on a better workable percentage. And that's why I think you see that the stock markets are also rallying because they expect things to be a bit better. But overall, the supply chains would have kind of shifted, and the trade policy needs to make a lot of adjustments. So I think within Asia, there will be some of this shifting of supply chains. Everybody will be watching and seeing how do you navigate around all these tariffs.
Do you think this phenomena should be anticipated as a challenge that could become headwinds for business and the economy to grow? Or you might already see it as an opportunity for another definition of growth, sir?
I think generally tariffs will not be helpful for business.
Okay.
There will be headwinds, and we expect the GDP to take a 0.5% knock because of that. But I think there are, within all this mess, there will also be some opportunities. I mentioned in my opening that the Chinese way of looking at crisis, there are two words in crisis. It's 危机. The first word means danger, challenges. The second word means opportunities. So we think that this scenario can also lead to Indonesia to play a better part, to capture some opportunities from it, be it manufacturing or even from the mining sector. I think that as things settles, we should be looking for opportunities to still grow our business despite all these challenges.
How do you see the Indonesian market during this specific dynamics?
I think the Indonesian market, the domestic market has been a bit mixed. As you see that the economic growth has fallen to 4.85 in the first quarter versus year on year, it's 5%. And there are many factors resulting in it. I mean, last year was an election quarter, so the base is set quite high. Although the export has been still quite firm, but we see that there's volatility in commodity prices. There's still downstreaming going on. And I think there are some manufacturing activities that are encouraged, although overall manufacturing seems down for Indonesia. And I think there are other factors like FDI. FDI was at the peak last year. With the global economy, it can still be uncertain. Domestic consumption is weak, but hopefully the welfare spending will kick in, and let's say private sector investments will restore. So overall, it's still a very mixed picture for Indonesia. But I think Indonesia has its strength. It has good demographics, good mineral resources, and I think there's strength in the institution and stability and an able regulatory backbone. So I think Indonesia, by and large, still can weather through the storm. But I think businesses needs to be resilient, needs to innovate to cope with the new reality.
Businesses need to be resilient and need to innovate to capture more opportunities. But how do we spot on opportunities for business in Indonesia to keep going and even growing in this very challenging era, sir?
I think there will be areas of growth. It could be overseas expansion. It could be buying distressed assets. It could be doubling down on something that still has growth. So there are many things that can happen, and I think at DBS we want to be a trusted partner for growth to help our customer base to navigate through these difficulties.
And what it takes for business to expand mindfully, smartly, and safely across probably Singapore, China, Indonesia, and beyond in an era of fragmented supply chains, because this is an issue that has been facing since the administration of Donald Trump since January.
Yeah, I think we think the businesses in the first place needs to be geared for more resilience and relevance. For example, businesses can look at their operations to see how they can improve in this kind of storm, and then businesses can consider how to turn volatility into opportunities. For example, we work with our clients to hedge their currency risk, their interest rate risk, and I think businesses can see whether they can diversify their supply chain. They can buy from other suppliers. They can sell to other parties. So I think they need to be agile to do this. Of course, one of the things that we see is the trend of generative AI. How Gen AI can help businesses to be more effective and more efficient. And as a bank, we embrace that. I think customers should also embrace that digital innovation, embracing sustainability. I think these are the things businesses can do to improve their operation and look for new avenues of growth.
Okay, and how your bank, DBS, serve as a trusted regional enabler through cross-border treasury, financing, and strategic insights, helping businesses move capital, goods, and ideas without borders.
I think as we want to be a trusted partner for growth to our customer. That means giving them insights, giving them regional connectivity, giving them innovative financial solutions. These are the things we can do to help them. For example, we do work with clients cross-border. We work with our Chinese clients as they invest in Indonesia, for example. We did a loan for a waste-to-energy plant in Palembang. These are the connectivity things that we can do. We also help local Indonesian enterprises to do M&A, cross-border M&A. I think we did a deal for TBS Energy Utama for them to acquire waste management operation in Singapore. So that's what we can do to bridge some of the regional flows. Then in terms of the innovative financial solutions, we can help them on interest rates hedging or FX hedging. For example, if the window of rates is suitable, we can even do a synthetic loan for them to save some interest costs.
Sure.
So these are the things we can do. And for our clients going overseas, we can help them to connect with either partners or even targets if they want to acquire, and help them to bridge the flow using regular banking, so that we can help them to grow even in this storm. For the bank, I think growing our clients' business is always our business, right? So that is what we want to do, and together we can work with the clients to build a better
together.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your wonderful commitment to your clients and also for Indonesia, sir. And lastly, as a closing statement for this discussion, this event, Asian Insight Conference 2025, with a theme Grow in a Changing World, I just wanted you to know from your perspective, what's your definition of growth in a changing world for DBS?
It's growth in a changing world and growth in a challenging world.
Yeah.
But I believe that the way we should operate in a changing or even challenging world is to have that attitude of navigation.
Okay, attitude.
How
of
do you
navigation.
navigate through this? How do you identify and manage the risks? And how do you identify and seize those opportunities? And when you do it with two sides, the risks and the opportunities, that's where you can get growth and you can innovate and get better and improve yourself, yep, and cope with the future.
Well, thank you so much for your wonderful insights to CNBC Indonesia, and a pleasure for having you in this discussion with CNBC
Pleasure.
Indonesia.
Thank you very
so
much.
much for
Thanks.
joining
Yeah,
us, Bapak. Dan demikian diskusi eksklusif kita bersama dengan Presiden Direktur Bank DBS Indonesia, Bapak Lim Chu Chong, CNBC Indonesia Beyond Business.